Caleb Williams said, I want to play at one place for 20 years and chase one guy, Tom Brady. I want to go to a place that loves football. And that's all I've heard about the Chicago Bears so far. What's up, guys? Swift here. I wanted to talk about Caleb Williams' interview he did a couple days ago. He joined the Pivot for a podcast that was over an hour long. It was honestly one of the best interviews I've ever listened to. Most of you have probably already watched it, but for those who haven't, the link will be in the description below. But for everyone else here, I wanted to give my biggest takeaways from the interview. Let's go ahead and get right into it. The main takeaway for me was just how mature Caleb Williams already is. I think I honestly learned more about Caleb the person in that one interview than I did about Justin Fields in the last 2 years. That's not a shot at Justin at all. Let me explain. That interview was just simply one of the most open, honest, and mature interviews I've ever heard from a 22-year-old. The way he lets people into his mindset and answers questions is just honestly refreshing. Most people are simply not that open and honest, especially in an interview setting. Caleb gave me real, genuine vibes while being a guy who doesn't care what others think, but also a guy who has a killer mentality on the football field. Caleb answered questions about adversity, painting his nails, crying in his mom's lap after losing to the Huskies, and how he wants to chase Tom Brady and is serious about winning in the NFL. I think everyone should watch this interview. I have multiple times already, and you really get to know who Caleb Williams is as a person. He really lets people in, and even if you're Caleb's biggest hater or his biggest fan, give this interview a try. It's definitely worth your time. Now, let me briefly go over a couple of my biggest takeaways. I love that Caleb Williams addressed the Patrick Mahomes comparisons. He talked about how he wants to win Super Bowls and compete against the best of the best. He said he studied both Patrick Mahomes and Aaron Rodgers a lot. He practiced and worked on throwing those off platform throws and contorting his body to make special plays. He compared it to Kobe emulating Michael Jordan. And you can just tell Caleb has a killer instinct about him. He's so mature and thoughtful off the field, but when he laces them up, he's a stone cold killer. Chicago Bears fans will eat that up. And it's something we've been looking for, especially at the quarterback position, for my entire life as a Bears fan. Caleb even addressed adversity. He talked about his high school freshman year, how he lost the championship game to St. John's on his birthday. And then they played St. John's again his sophomore year on the same day, November 18th, his birthday, and they were down 20-0 with 8 minutes left to go in the first quarter. Caleb stayed calm and composed and took it one play at a time. They came back and won that game. And Caleb fought through a painful turf toe injury late. Then he also talked about the adversity at Oklahoma. And this one was just straight up brutal honesty that you don't hear from most athletes. He said it hurt him when he wasn't named the starter at Oklahoma as a true freshman, and this took Ryan Clark back. He was like, wait, when you made the decision to go to Oklahoma as a true freshman, and Spencer Rattler was already the starter and was getting hyped as a first round pick, you were upset that you didn't beat him out? Then why did you even go there? It was an awesome and tough question from Ryan Clark, but Caleb didn't shy away. He responded that he believed he was the best QB in the country and that he had beat out Spencer during spring football. He said he felt like he was the best option for the team and that he could help them win, and it angered him to not win the job. He said he would never let go once he got his shot. He has a Brady-like mentality. That kind of confidence, expecting to just come in and take Spencer Rattler's job, and then doing it 6 games into the season and winning a Heisman Trophy a year later, this is the stuff legends are made of. Probably my favorite part of the entire interview because I kind of wondered the same thing Ryan Clark did at the time, but I love how Caleb responded. Caleb also talked about crying with his mom. His whole college career was coming to an end. He had no championship game. And again, I believe he answered these questions very maturely and was honest about it. The guys also joked that his mom will not be that close to the field in Chicago, And Caleb agreed and said, I'll catch her after the game. He admitted that some of the talk about him crying bothered him. He recognizes that while it's perfectly fine to cry and show emotions, he maybe did not choose the best time to do so. But you have to understand Caleb's mindset. That loss to the Washington Huskies was devastating. It was, as far as championships go, the end of his college football career. Caleb wanted to win a national championship last year. He wants to win as much as anyone does. The loss to the Huskies wasn't the first of the season, it was the third. So some people had already written off USC by that time, but Caleb knew that they still had a chance. If they could beat the Huskies, if they could beat Oregon and win the Pac 12, they would still get in the playoffs and have a shot at the national championship. But that loss on that night against the Huskies was the end of it all. There would be no college football playoffs for Caleb Williams, and his college career was basically over. All of the emotions came out of him when he hugged his mom. Nothing more to it than that. But Caleb did let it be known that while he laughs at all the memes and takes everything with a grain of salt, that some of the things that being said did bother him, and you will not see him crying on the sidelines in Chicago. You might see him with his nails painted on Thursday night, though. He said he will be getting lined up and looking fresh, but he's growing his hair back out, and he'll be rocking a navy blue suit with silver accents and accompanied by his girlfriend. Some other notes about the interview. A lot of people still don't know that Olu Fashanu was Caleb Williams' high school teammate. The Penn State left tackle, who is a potential top 10 pick, has known Caleb since they won a high school championship together. And then, of course, Caleb also talked about the Justin Fields trade. He said it caught him off guard. To me, I think Ryan Poles made a statement to the Caleb Williams camp at that point. Caleb said he had not given the Bears his medicals or done a top 30 visit yet, and at that point, he still didn't know where he was going. But at that moment, it was a wow moment. He said it was very unexpected, but it let his camp know where the Bears stood. A lot of people keep saying Poles' decision was made up way before then, and I still don't believe that, even hearing it from Caleb Williams' mouth. I think Caleb won over Ryan Poles at some point, just like he will win over every single Bears fan, I believe, in the future, especially if he can beat the Green Bay Packers and win football games in Chicago. He was even asked about his expectations as a rookie, specifically on what CJ Stroud did last year as a rookie. And Caleb said, I want to do better. He said he's going to work his tail off, get into the playbook, and handle things the way they need to be handled on and off the football field. He mentioned sleep, nutrition, mental health, a lot of other things. He's the full package. Caleb Williams is light years more mature than I was at his age. Heck, he might be more mature than I am right now. Hearing him talk is so refreshing. Caleb Williams to the Chicago Bears is all but confirmed at this point. Do you want to win? That's the message Caleb's camp sent the Bears early on. They wanted Chicago to invest in this team and help Caleb reach his goals, and that's winning Super Bowls. He wants to chase Tom Brady and win Super Bowls, and he wants to do that with one team right here in Chicago. Now, while Caleb wants to chase Tom Brady, I'm not greedy. I just want one Super Bowl. Just give me one. I've wanted the Bears to win one my entire life, and I've never felt this way before. Like that could be a possibility soon. I'm knocking on wood, but I am ready for the Caleb Williams era in Chicago. Stay tuned, guys. I have a ton more coverage coming this week. I'll be on the Barroom Network tomorrow with Greg Gabriel and plan to have him as a guest after the draft as well. Remember to hit the like button for me. Stay tuned. And until next time, bear down.